Welcome back, it's me, Lou. Okay, today is going to be a short toy haul video. So some of the figures I picked up recently, these were figures that I previously had in my collection, and I had to get them back. I was just feeling really nostalgic for some Gargoyle figures. I didn't have a huge Gargoyles collection back in the day. I think I only had maybe like 3 or 4 figs. And two of them were Elisa Maza and Demona. So recently, NECA, they kind of, they're dabbling in gargoyle figures, and they look amazing. They're huge, they're awesome, they're super detailed, they come with lots of accessories. But even though as awesome as those figures are, like just seeing them makes me nostalgic for the original figures. And this Elisa and Demona figure, these were figures that I was very fond of back in the day, and I just wanted to have them back. I have Demona loose, but I just wanted a carded one. Just because, I don't know, there's something about... I say this all the time, there's something about, for me, when I collect action figures, it's not enough that it's just the action figure. I need them sometimes. I need them in the card sometimes or in the box because there's something wrong. I have some sickness in my head or something like that, but I think it's because, for me, the action figure, it's not enough. The actual artwork in the card in the box, that's part of, for me, the entire experience. Like whenever you're like walking down a toy aisle, the first thing you'll always look out for is the package design. If you see something that catches your eye for the first time, you're like, oh my god, there's new toys out. So for me, there's that connection. I'm very connected to the artwork in the package design and stuff. And for it's kind of like jumping into a time machine. And when you see these things, especially if you live during this time period, it kind of encapsulates that time period. It's like a moment frozen in time. The package design is always a good indicator of where the toy industry was at. What was fashionable. What was trendy. And Gargoyles was a popular cartoon back then. I used to watch it, but I don't remember too much. To be honest, I don't remember too much about it. Part of the reason why I jumped onto Gargoyles is because some of the voice-over actors were from Star Trek The Next Generation, Jonathan Frakes and Marina Sirtis. So I think that was one of the big allures. Like, oh, some Star Trek people are voicing it. I should check it out. And I remember it was a fun, cool cartoon. It's kind of dark, but I just don't have any like significant memories of the cartoon itself. It's more so just about the toys. So what we have here is we have Elisa Maza on the left and Demona on the right. I do remember when I found this Demona at the toy store. I picked it up because the female figures, they're always like less packed per case than the male characters. You'd only usually find just like one female figure per case. And for some reason in our heads back then, collectors always thought that the female characters would be worth a lot of money. And eventually in time we'd learn that they weren't. But I remember when I found this figure, I grabbed it. And then as me and JC were leaving the toy aisle, we came across another local collector. I think we called him the painter because in real life the guy he was like a painter. And he's one of those dudes that he'd be doing the toy circuits and we'd always cross paths with him. And he's like, oh, what do you got there? Oh, I see you got the Demona. That's pretty awesome. And it's just weird, back then, just running into other collectors. And it almost became kind of like a weird competitive thing. Where I live in the Chicagoland area, it's a highly competitive market. There's a lot of toy collectors. So it's really like the early bird gets the worm. So right now, for me, trying to get some of the more recent toys like G.I. Joe Classified and some of the Star Wars Black Series, it's kind of a challenge because you're competing against dudes that will hit up every Target, every Walmart, on their way to work, after work. And, I can relate to that because, I'm one of those kind of people. But, yeah, I just have so many fond memories of, like, hunting for toys. For me, the toy hunting experience, it's not the same nowadays, like, with, like, crowdfunded campaigns and finding your figs online and this and that. I'm really a child of the 80s and 90s. I have to be out on the hunt. It's cool like this. It's cool and convenient to just like press a button on my computer or on my phone and get an action figure sent to me that afternoon. But this being able to hang out with your buddies and shoot the shit and just like drive around, pick up some figs, you know, stop by, get something to eat, and just talk toys, and then, you know, just go on silly adventures. You know, those were such awesome, fun days. You know, especially at that time in my life. You know, during college and post college. You know, we had responsibilities, but you know, life wasn't so serious yet, and it was nice just to be able to indulge in something as stupid as collecting toys. So yeah, these figures really take me back. I've seen photos of NECA's upcoming Demona figure. She looks great. The original figure is not too shabby. You know, it's a nice, clean sculpt. It looks like the cartoon character brought to life. You know, back then, we always got a rocket launcher of some sort and some giant missile. This figure, I believe you squeeze her legs together and then her wings flap. And on the back, it's nice, meaty information. We talk about the Gargoyles. Oh yeah, this is a wonderful line. Some of these figures, ever since NECA made their announcement, the original figures are actually going for a lot of money nowadays. So if you have these mint on card, hold on to them. You know, if you have them loose and they're in nice condition, and you know, just keep them nice. You know, just don't throw them in a bin. You know, it's a little piece of history. This is a wonderful figure. I love the fact it kind of reminds me of the G.I. Joe accessory. It's kind of like that Cobra wing glider. And for some reason, this always kind of reminded me of that. Lisa Mazza with rocket wing jetpack. At the time, Kenner had a very like in-house sculpting style too. A lot of their action figures, they're always similar in scale, and you know they're probably all sculpted by the same people, but you know, across all their different lines, whether it was like Aliens vs Predator, G.I. Joe, Gargoyles. Oh, not G.I. Joe, I take that back. Like G.I. Joe was still Hasbro. No, I take it. No, that's I stand corrected. I think Kenner at this time, by the 1990s, they might have been owned by Hasbro already. But for the most part, a lot of the Kenner line stuff, you know, their scale was always very consistent, as was the sculpting of their figures. So if you wanted to, you could kind of blend universes, you know, take figures from Gargoyles and mix them in with, like, you know, for example, maybe like Ghostbusters or something, or Jurassic Park. So yeah, great figure. She could dual wield her pistols, comes with a rocket launcher. Yeah, great times. Awesome play feature with her jetpack. Alright, so yeah, with that being said, my name is Lou. Thank you so much for checking out this video. I hope that if you're like, you know, my age, or if you remember this time period, I hope you found this video enjoyable. Collecting toys is always going to be a fun hobby, but like I said, for me, you know, this time period, you know, the mid-90s to like the early 2000s, I think that's when I had the most fun. You know, a lot of great times. Alright, so once again, my name is Lou. Thank you so much for checking out this video. If you're new to my channel, welcome. If you're a returning subscriber or viewer, thank you so much for your continued likes, comments, and support. I greatly appreciate it. So, until the next video, be safe, take care of yourself, buy lots of toys, and most importantly, be happy. And I'll talk to you at the next one. Later.